Joining me today is an actor I actually don't know much about, but from what I've seen in his work, he's the guy who quietly enhances every vertical drama he's been in. Steady, expressive, and always delivering. Anthony James, welcome to Verdi Chat with Mads.
Thank you so much. Hello. I'm excited to be here.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, of
Not like we
course.
haven't just been sitting here for how long?
Yeah, 2.5 hours, I think it is.
Shush,
But
shush, don't.
sorry, I'm giving away your secrets. Um, but no, I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for having me on, and I hope I can entertain your people watching.
You will, no matter what. Can we start off with you telling me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, of course. This is the exact question I told you that I was gonna hate answering. And you said, "Don't worry, you won't have to come up with any fun facts." And I said, "Great." And then it's the first one. Um, I guess I am an actor. I've been an actor for the last 12 years. Um, I started when I was 8, and I've been training in improv and then theater and then film for all of my life since then. I got into verticals 6 months ago, and I've been having a really lovely time. When I'm not doing acting, though, I am a chef. I make sushi, cut up fish for fun. Um, and yeah, I mean, those are the basics. You'll have to ask me more specific questions if you want more specific answers. I collect Lego, so I have, um, how much? Like, you know those big Rubbermaids? I have like 10 of
Yeah.
those, just chock full of Lego,
What?
sorted all the way. Yeah. Um, I I don't watch movies. We've talked about this. You watch less movies than I do, which is insane because I don't watch movies. I love movies, but I just never have the time to. Um, yeah, I don't know.
You and me both. Like,
I've nearly died like 7 times. Does that count as a fun fact?
what?
I drown a lot.
I feel bad for laughing. Please stop. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, how
That's
dare
not a
you?
funny subject.
How dare you laugh at my joke?
I'm sorry.
No, no, no. The first time I almost drowned, my family has this like tradition of floating down the river, right? So we'll take an inflatable raft and a bunch of like sodas and float down the river for a whole day. And something goes wrong every time. So this time, I was refusing to wear a wetsuit because I didn't like the way it felt on my skin, but I wanted to swim in the river, so I jumped off. But I jumped off the front of the raft. The raft came over me, and I was like freezing under the water because it's Saskatoon, right? So it was horribly cold. So I was freezing under the raft and I couldn't get out because I was, stuck. Finally, someone comes in, pulls me out, and I wound up having hypothermia for the rest of the trip down the river. So that was my first near-death experience, and then I just continued to have them because they make good stories.
I have nothing to say to that. Like, but I was laughing like it was funny.
I mean, honestly, I think the funniest things are when things go horribly wrong. I got stabbed once. That was another one of my near-death experiences. And that one was I think it's hilarious because the guy thought I was someone else. So he chased me down the street with a knife and then stabbed me. And then he was like, "Yeah, I got you, you son of a bitch." And then he turned me over and he was like, "Uh, wrong guy." And then he left.
I was like, do I have permission to laugh?
Yeah, yeah, I laugh. It's a joke. I mean, it's a real thing, but it's also a joke.
It's all messed up. Like,
Hmm.
I'm so sorry.
Bad things make good stories.
But
It's how
this
our
is
entire,
death.
I don't know, our entire industry is built on pretty bad things happening and making stories out of it. So,
True. When you put it like that, true. I'm just bamboozled right now.
Pulled the rug right out from under you. You
Yeah,
thought you had
hello.
a nice you thought you had a nice question. Just tell me about yourself. But no, I got
Yeah.
stabbed. How does that make you feel?
I almost died. Like,
Shame on
what
you
the
for
fuck?
laughing at my pain.
I'm sorry. Oh, bad. I'm sorry, sorry. Oh, my cheeks hurt.
Good. I'm doing my job right.
No. No. Have you always wanted to be an actor, or was there another career or passion that you wanted to pursue?
So I started off wanting to be a teacher for a really long time. I still kind of want to be a teacher, but now I want to, teach acting. Because I don't think I could live without without this work. When I was 8, yeah, when I was 8, my parents got a divorce. I was already a pretty, we'll say, temperamental kid. It got even worse after that. And my mom told me that summer that I had to take up an extracurricular, or else she was going to take away all my technology. And if that happened, I was just going to be sitting in my room alone. So I signed up for an improv class, and I finally felt like I was seen by a group of people and like I could get out those emotions that were stuck in me. Um, and since then, I've never stopped acting and I've never wanted to do anything else, because something that can make you feel better doing it and make everybody watching you feel better seeing it is just magic to me.
I have no response to that. Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, I don't know how to identify with your feelings right now because your feelings are your feelings. But no, that
I
was really
mean,
beautiful.
that's exactly the magic of acting, right? You can identify with feelings without describing them because feelings can't be described.
You got my cogs turning because I literally teach kids to label their feelings.
But I mean,
It's my
you
job.
felt you felt everything though. You felt all of the feelings. And can you really tell me what it feels like to be happy?
The umbrella term, yes.
Say again?
The umbrella term, yes.
Okay,
Like,
well,
like happy in general. But then when you break it down into like its subcategories, like nobody truly knows.
yeah, exactly. But you can feel that through the
Mm.
screen. Yeah.
Right now, I'm just lost for words. Like,
Good. That's how we get you. First, we make you laugh at our suffering, and then we and then we just make you confused.
you study at VFS. What was the biggest lesson that you took away from that for acting?
Mm. It's interesting because I feel like the biggest lessons I learned at VFS weren't necessarily acting related. Some of them were. Um, the biggest acting lesson I learned is just to let go of like the fear of being on camera. The more I've been on camera, the more comfortable I feel there, and that's I think the biggest part of being an actor because you're trying to portray real feelings on screen, and that's just hard to do because nobody wants to be seen that harshly. Um, but the most important lesson that I learned at VFS, I don't think is really acting related, and that's just how important communication is. Because you have so many scene partners and you're moving so fast through all of it that you need to be able to meet someone new, learn who they are in a couple minutes, and then run a scene with them and run it well. Uh, you get to spend a lot of time with the same people, but your groups are getting mixed around, so you'll have to hang out with people who you're not necessarily as close with and all this stuff. And so I feel like learning that skill of connecting with someone quickly so that you can do the work with them is one of the things that's been the most beneficial to me in my career so far as an actor, even though it's not necessarily an acting skill.
It still relates to your job because you still need to be able to communicate regardless.
Yeah, exactly. And
Like
that's one
it's
of the things,
universal.
yeah. Well, that's one of the things I love about acting training is that almost anything you learn when you're learning to be an actor is something that'll also make you a better person. So much of acting is empathy. Um, so when you really learn to be a better actor, you're learning how to connect with people and make them feel more comfortable, more seen, which will always make life better for someone.
Bamboozled again.
You want to hear my next near-death experience story?
A
So
snake.
my yes. So my family and I were in Kenya to help build a well in this town, and we were walking to the town, and my mom was like, "We should take a rest under this very nice looking tree, this lovely tree here." And so she went to sit down on top of a black mamba. I don't know. Do you know what a black mamba is? Yeah, so it was just like sitting right there. Nobody else saw it. I was like a mile away. Not a mile, that's an exaggeration, but you get what I mean. I was far away. I see this thing that my mom's about to sit on, and I just like scream at the top of my lungs. She runs, realizes what it is, and then she tries to go back to get a picture of it for Facebook, and we have to run in there to bring to pull her back. So no snakes. Snakes are bad. At least black mambas. Some other snakes are chill.
Just had to go back and get a picture of it. Oh, oh, that's wild.
Everything that you love has nearly killed me once.
Well, like my cat, like they nearly had like a
I have a
near-death
story for
experience with my
that one
cat.
too.
Oh,
No, 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 I haven't. Cats are lovely. I'll make an exception for cats.
my greatest love. I literally have like a friggin' lint roller on standby. Like I'm prepared. I
Oh,
even got one in my car for work.
they hate me on verticals because every time they're like, bring in some clothes for yourself. So I bring in this like whole bag of shit. And sorry. So I bring in like this whole bag of stuff and I'm showing the costume designers all my things. And every single one is just covered head to toe in a mat of cat hair. I have a lint roller. I lint roll them every day, and there's nothing I can do. It's permanently stuck on there. I think it might be part of the design.
How do you make small moments feel meaningful on screen?
Hmm. I feel like with verticals, all the moments are so big um, that it's a lot harder to make the small moments count. I try to be present in everything. It kind of goes back to the thing I was saying before about comfort on camera, of like the small moments come when you're not acting. The small moments come when you're just being yourself on camera, and then your face does the thing your face does when you're concerned about someone. Um, but with vertical acting specifically, I feel like a lot of the time those small moments need to get blown up a little bit more. So then that becomes a practice in observation. We don't usually notice when we cock an eyebrow or when we blink a bit too much or those kinds of things. But a lot of the time with verticals, you always need to notice those things and then exaggerate them a little bit. So if I'm, surprised and I like just cock an eyebrow a little bit, maybe with a vertical like a little bit more, right? So you've always got to notice your little ticks and expand those impulses into something bigger. It feels a lot like stage acting in that way.
Because I've noticed with verticals, like it doesn't matter how small your like scene or moment is, you still need to like, I don't know. For me personally, it feels like you guys have to deliver, like, massive performance, like be over exaggerating on everything. Because
Yeah,
I don't know, I think it's just the genre, but
yeah, it's absolutely the genre. And it does come from that place of theater acting, I think.
yeah,
Um,
go big or go home.
yeah, exactly. And I know a portion of our audience is people who don't speak English fluently. Uh, And so having that bigger facial reaction and that body language, we know that facial expressions can translate emotion across languages. There have been studies that show that things like joy and sadness and fear are shown the same way no matter where in the world you are. And so it gets to become this like universal language kind of.
I don't know. I just sometimes it's way too big.
Yeah,
Like it could tone it down, but then I suppose that's what everybody likes.
I think with verticals, the the appeal for some people is watching um when you like turn on the movie around Christmas time and put on a Hallmark movie uh and you watch it because you want to have a good time with your family and have something there to laugh along with or laugh at. I think the laughing at part is a lot of the draw of verticals for some people, not everyone. Um, but that over the top acting, especially for kids, for people who don't speak English as a foreign language, can be a good way of translating. But then also for people who like to laugh at something, it's a good thing to laugh at. I
Just
do
how
agree, though, that the acting is a bit much sometimes.
just yeah, it's I don't know. It's very it can be
It, yes, no, almost always is,
like
I would say. Um, it reminds me a lot of like telenovelas.
yeah,
Yeah, of like every moment is massive and important because of the format where you need an episode break every minute. Everything has to be this grand revelation.
yeah,
I had a friend who
just
was
to
trying
keep
to
you
write.
hooked.
Yeah, exactly. I had a friend who was trying to write a vertical, and he's used to writing like screenplays like I do, and he couldn't write a vertical because he couldn't format his script to have those massive beats every minute. He was trying to do slow building action, and that just doesn't work in a vertical format. The vertical format is more like this.
Yeah,
It gets slowly
it
built.
has to be.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
it has
people
to.
like disengage.
Yeah. It's also a big thing with like the internet culture of today is that our attention spans have shrunk so much. We need shorter form content to keep us always engaged and always taking more. And since verticals are they're a surface industry, they serve people's need for content. Um, they're there to keep you engaged, even if it's not necessarily the highest quality of content.
Like, don't get me wrong, some of the I don't know, some of the storylines that are out there are like a little bit far-fetched. I could say like beyond far-fetched. But there are some that I really like. I don't know. My favorite genre is like young adult, like campus. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
those ones are always really cute. Yeah.
I
I
like
I'm
reliving my high school days.
I'm a big fan of the more like out there ones because I think the sillier they are, the more interesting they can be. So the first one I did, like the first one I did that was large was like a werewolf one that I really enjoyed. Uh, but like I think there are two sides of verticals, the more grounded premises of like hospital ones, high school ones,
Mm,
that kind of stuff, and then the more out there ones like I've seen medieval ones and cowboy ones, and like there's a pirate one filming that we were talking about earlier. Um, like you can get these really silly, far-fetched ideas and these ones that are more grounded and can take those things we all already understand into these insane places with these crazy plot twists and, like you said, bring you back to better days like high school.
Yeah. And that's something what I, jumped like I would say headfirst into that genre. But then that's the thing. My first ever vertical that I watched was, I'm pretty sure it was Breaking the Ice. It was like a hockey one, I think. I can't remember. I haven't watched it ever since.
I have a friend who was in that one, I think. I don't
Like
know much about it, but
it's like one of the most watched verticals ever.
really.
Like ever. It's on Real Short. What has been the role that has pushed you the most creatively
In verticals or in general?
in general?
I think the role that pushed me the most creatively was a theater role. The best role I've had so far, which was I played Jim in Glass Menagerie. So Glass Menagerie is a play by Tennessee Williams, and Jim is charming, the charming, I guess, yeah, just the charming man who works at the factory with the protagonist who comes in to woo his sister. Uh, and I was only in the last like third, fourth of the play, um, but the role had so much depth in it. Um, and the part that I found the most challenging about it, and I'm sure a lot of actors would agree with me on this, is that the character was very, very similar to me. And playing someone who's similar to you is way scarier than playing someone who's different, because when you're playing someone who's close to you, you feel more seen. I've mentioned being seen a bunch already in the interview, but that is more people are scared of public speaking than of cancer. Um, More people are scared of public speaking than of death, actually, uh, which is baffling to me as someone who speaks publicly for a living, but makes me realize just how difficult being seen is. Uh, and playing Jim made me realize it all over again.
You need a lead role, like in something.
I would love a lead role in something, hopefully in
Like,
my own thing. I'm writing something right now. Hopefully that I'll get a lead role in. I mean, if I can't book a lead role in something I wrote, then there's something wrong with me.
no,
No,
that's the
I've
thing. Like, you might not want yourself in there because unless you write the character that's opposite from you, because what you said, if it's close to you, it's scary.
it's scary, but I also think that playing roles that are close to you are the most powerful. Because if I'm depicting someone that's different from me, that requires a tremendous amount of skill and a tremendous amount of effort and research. And those portrayals can be just as beautiful as anything else. But if I'm playing something that's close to who I am, that is always going to hit harder with less effort, aside from the effort that it takes to be authentic on screen. If I'm just playing me, I know everything about me already. I don't have to pretend.
Well, some of the people that I've talked to have said that when they're being like when they feel authentic, it doesn't come across as
Are
authentic on
those
camera.
vertical actors or are those? Yeah, so I think the difference there is that in verticals, authentic
They go
needs
for
to
the
be
look.
so big, right? We've discussed the like melodrama of verticals already, and I think that makes the benchmark of authentic something very different. Um, I would say it depends a lot on the genre. So, like for instance, Hallmarks, verticals, the look that is authentic is a lot different than like dramas and art films. Um, so the difference, I think, between an authentic vertical performance and an authentic drama performance is just it's the same impulses exaggerated, like I said earlier. It's all the same things, just add an extra 20%.
Yeah.
And if you're really going crazy with it, add another like 60%.
And then you have the perfect vertical.
Exactly. So I think that impulse that a lot of actors have to say when it feels authentic, it doesn't look authentic, comes from a place of um, losing sight of the genre.
How did you discover verticals?
So I discovered verticals because when I graduated VFS, I had met this girl, Camilla, who was in the vertical industry. And she reached out to me on Instagram. I thought it was a scam, but eventually I realized it was real. I came to set, um, and we shot a vertical. I was only there for one day. I was a party guest in a banquet scene, classic vertical. And it was like the wildest plot I'd ever heard at the time. I've seen crazier now, but the scene was like this lady picks up some hot coals with tongs and is just trying to like throw hot coals at this other girl. Wild shit, or sorry, wild stuff. But uh, but I mean, I was hooked after that, right? You can't see that kind of stuff and then not do more verticals. It's enthralling
Do you
to
remember the
say the
name of it?
least. Just called dumped.
Dumped.
Yep, that's all. Very generic for a vertical.
Have you watched it back?
No, I mean, I'm not in it really, right? Because it, I was just a party guest. I think I had one line. Um, might have just been background actually. But I only watch verticals that I have like a good chunk of lines in or that come very highly recommended. Because they're very time consuming, so I don't want to spend my time watching them if I can help it.
It's like since I've started doing the interviews with you guys, I think I've watched a total of 5.5 verticals in like 2 months.
Yeah, it's a lot, and you don't want to spend all your time doing that. And I mean, the plots of so many of them are really intense, but it's so many of the verticals have really intense plots with like miscarriages and deaths and assaults and all this stuff that you just don't want that filling up your life, you know?
Well, how do you choose your scripts that you want to do then?
Um, I I'm pretty comfortable doing most scripts. I haven't had one come across my desk that I was like, no, I haven't passed on any yet. Um, I think the thing that would make me pass on a vertical is if it condones things like, assault, that kind of stuff. Because there's a lot of that in verticals, but it's always painted very negatively in the ones I've seen. But I know people who have seen scripts where that's painted in a positive light or romanticized, and that's something that I would not be comfortable doing. I'm not comfortable crossing that line.
I wouldn't like depending if it's just like you know a lot of people starting out wouldn't understand. They'd probably just jump straight in. They'd be like, "I got the role," just jump straight in. Whereas like some of you seasoned chickens know which ones to take.
Yeah,
And that's
it's
where I feel really bad.
well, it's like
Just
the
they're not.
classic example is it's a bit separated from verticals, but the guy who played Edward Cullen, Robert Pattinson, I mean, it defined his career for such a long time. He was just known as the sparkly vampire guy because he took a
Yep.
role that, I mean, in his case, I think it probably was a good choice to take, but it killed his career for a while because that was what he was known as for a long time. And if you start doing shows that put you in a camp you don't want to be in, it can be really hard to break that image.
And that's like, it's hard not to get typecast, especially in verticals.
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the reasons that I've done less verticals than a lot of people is that I'm difficult to typecast. I play nerds really well. I play gay really well, but there's not a lot of gay people and there's not a lot of nerds in verticals. So it puts me in a niche that doesn't fit in a lot of places.
What's the craziest thing you found yourself doing in a vertical?
So I had one of those roles that was like one of those assaulty roles that I really never wanted to get because I feel like it's not really my profile at all. And I mean, as an actor, you expect to be doing things that are outside your wheelhouse and you expect to be doing things that are hard for you. But that was really scary because I didn't want to make my scene partner uncomfortable. And I was also a little bit confused because, I don't want to come off as someone who's like that. And since so much of Verticals is casting off of type, you're like, what did I do? But I think
Yeah.
it was just an interesting casting choice for that one because the other guy I was paired with is the sweetest man I've worked with. He's just lovely. He's Julie's husband, um, and yeah, he's just wonderful. Uh, so I think it was just an interesting casting decision, but it was really difficult. Um, there's so much blocking with intimacy scenes of any type, especially with something that's like a non-consensual intimacy scene where and all we were doing was like pushing her hair behind her ear, stuff like that, right? But even with that, you want to be really careful because space and someone's body is a very precious thing for them. And so that's a terrifying thing to have to work with as an actor. So I'd say that was the scariest part I've had. I don't know if that was the question, but
It still fit anything. Like it was for you, it was the craziest thing you found yourself doing. You never thought you'd be in that predicament.
the craziest
But
thing I've ever seen someone else doing on a vertical set was we had one, it was like the military vertical we were talking about earlier, where there was a whole scene where the two leads were fighting in the pool, and um, after
Logan was
they,
telling me about that.
yeah, they cut and the leads just stayed in the pool
Yep.
for all of lunch hour. They were just hanging out there. I came in and I brought them food because they were just sitting there, and I was like, "Hey, do you guys want food?" And they were like, "It's gonna get wet. We don't want these sandwiches. They're gonna be soggy. We'll eat them when we're done." Um, Absolute troopers they are, but crazy thing to do. I have to imagine their skin was like, I mean, I could just say a prune, but that feels like a boring metaphor. It's all I've got though. I have to imagine their skin was all pruny afterwards. Like,
Yeah,
God,
that'd be very uncomfortable.
age 50 years.
Logan said that was one of the hardest things that he'd had, like what's it called? Not the hardest, but like one of the skills that he had to learn was how to fight in water, or like fight in water.
Yeah, and their wigs kept coming off, which didn't make it easier. Uh, I would say, yeah, it's really one of the best parts of acting is getting to learn new skills. And I mean, if you're asking me what the most interesting skill I've had to learn was, that was on this most recent one that I did, where my character is a driver. But because of bad timing with COVID, I never got my driver's license. So they taught me how to drive on set. Uh, and I can now say that the first car I've ever driven is a Rolls Royce. Um,
Yes! And
I
that's exactly
yeah,
what you want for your first drive.
absolutely terrifying is what it was. Like, oh my God, are you kidding? What if I crashed it? Holy crap. I didn't crash it. It all went well. And it was a really fun time. And now know how to drive a Rolls Royce.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of me too. I'm more proud of the second AD. That was impressive of him teaching someone how to drive in like a 15-minute window.
Other than driving, is there another skill that you've had to learn to get a role? Like just, you know, did you need to learn something specific to land a role or to stay in a role?
Interesting. I mean, the big one is definitely driving. Hold on, let me run through the roles I've. Hold on. Go to my mind palace really quickly. Um, I think the only other big one is like weapons handling, right? Because we did the military vertical, and you need to be able to hold a gun believably. You need to be able to like put it up like you're in combat and run all that stuff. So they had us there for like an hour or so, teaching us how to use the guns properly, running drills with us to make sure that everything looked believable on camera and that we could move in sync and work as a team, um, because there was so much physicality in that whole set, in that whole day, right? It was boiling. We wanted to minimize the amount of time we were in the sun, and we had to move as a regiment. We had to train together to use the guns like an actual military team would. Not as much as, not like to the caliber of a military team by any standard. I
Just
have
make it look
skinny,
believable.
I have skinny noodle arms. I can't do that.
I would say that.
Um, but we trained quite a bit, and I think it paid off in the final product.
Well, it looked great regardless. I wish I could watch it again, but they took it off real short. So I
Bring me
know.
back. Put this face back on your screen.
Bring me back.
Cut
I'm
everyone
actually gonna
else
see
out.
if they put it.
Change the story to make it about
Maybe.
like military man number four.
What's the funniest line you've ever had to deliver, but you've had to like deliver it extremely serious?
Um, so the line is, um, no, no, sorry, sir, my mistake. Which on its own isn't funny. The reason why I had a lot of trouble with this line and I kept breaking on it is the context, because so I'm essentially this guy's bodyguard, right? So I follow him around everywhere, and I think he's fallen in love with one of his employees, and so I'm teasing him about it, and then he's like, "Do you have too much free time on your hands? Do you want me to send you back to the mines in Namibia?" And it's like never brought up again, never mentioned ever after or before it. And I'm just like, no, no, God, please no, don't send me back. And then they cut away, and that's the end of the scene. And the other actor said it so deadpan to me, just like absolutely serious. I will send you to the mines. And like, what do you do with that other than laugh? So
Exactly.
that's the best line for sure.
Is there a performance that you did that you feel like it didn't get enough recognition? Like you wish it had more recognition? Or your performance in that vertical or like the vertical in general, like either one.
I think let me double check the name because they've changed the name. It's the one you've seen me in. Um,
Um,
I was really happy with my
my
performance in that one. The Alpha King's Faded Virgin
featured
Bride, but
Virgin Bride.
I have to say that out loud now. Um, I think the vertical that I did with Will was probably my favorite performance that I've done so far. I got to get kidnapped, which was a fantastic time, and playing fear is just always amazing, right? Getting the opportunity to play someone who's just terrified out of their mind is always going to be my favorite thing to do. And so I wish that that one had gotten seen more because it's just a really charming and also beautifully shot vertical. I saw some of the shots while they were framing them up, and like the lighting team was on point. They had some really nice fog shots. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
Makes me want to rebuy my subscription to NetShort just to watch it.
Well, maybe I can become a corporate shill for NetShort.
Hmm,
Go door to
maybe.
door selling subscriptions.
Please don't, because I've already spent enough money on verticals this month. What is your biggest fear as an actor?
My biggest fear as an actor is giving up, I think. I have been very committed to everything I've done in my life thus far. Um, but acting is a really, really tenuous thing. Um, it's hard to know if it's going well or poorly at any given time. It's so subjective. Um, and I'm really scared that uh, if I stop, even for a little, it'll be almost impossible for me to get started again. And I don't want to ever stop doing this because it fuels me.
And you shouldn't stop because the roles that you've played so far are just amazing. But
And
you'll
I
get to where
won't
you want to
stop.
be.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I have zero faith in myself, but it's nice to have it from someone else. Okay, I have like 2% faith in it. Three. You bumped it up from two to three. That was all you.
No, go 5%.
Okay, I can do an even five.
Favorite animal?
Oh, my favorite animal is a skunk. I love skunks. They're so sassy and silly. Uh, Originally, my favorite animal was a rat when I was a kid because I had two pet rats. Um, but now that I'm old and mature, I've chosen a older and more mature rat, which is just a skunk. They're stinky little guys. They make great pets. They improve your diet because they eat veggies. So if you have a pet skunk, you just have to have more vegetables around the house, right? So it's great. They don't even smell that bad if you remove their stink glands, which is entirely ethical to do if you're going to keep them domesticated. They're really friendly and soft. And I mean, their poop smells terrible, but everything else is good.
Do you have a pet skunk?
So that's the unfortunate thing about skunks. I would love to have a pet skunk, but in order to own a pet skunk in Canada, you need the same class of animal handling license as it would require to have a pet tiger. Um, so you need to go through some courses. Apparently, skunks are very dangerous. They're not, as far as any of my research has indicated, capable of harming a person more than a cat would be, but weapons of mass destruction, apparently.
That is freaking wild.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so there's very, very few domesticated skunks in the entire world, and I follow all of them on Instagram. And it's like almost the only people I follow are actors and skunks.
Where you just put that. I can't say.
What, did you like my answer or something?
Just the way you said it. It must be like the tone in your voice. The tone was funnier than what you said.
I get that a lot. I don't think I say things that are funny very often, but I just like give funny vibes.
like what?
Two in one call, twice in one call.
I look like I'm
Absolute
crying.
goat over here. You are crying. Guys, if you're watching this, just know I made her cry twice in one call, and both times it was from good things. It wasn't even because I insulted her.
Are you a cat person or a dog person?
By far a cat person. I used to have dogs when I was growing up, three Bassets and a Golden Retriever. The three Bassets were my brothers technically, but and I always thought I would hate cats because they're immoral little monsters that want nothing more than to see us suffer. But then I got a cat of my own, and I realized that in reality they're immoral monsters that want nothing more than to see us suffer. But they're really cute, so it's okay. They get away with it. Um, my cat was not only a terrible person, but also just the dumbest thing you've ever seen. She was so stupid. She would like whenever it rained, she would stand at the window and hiss, and anytime someone would come up the stairs, she would try to get them to go back down the stairs to hide from the rain. Um, and when we stopped letting her go down into the basement during the night because she kept sitting on my mom's face while she was trying to sleep, um, she started jumping through the crack in the basement door at the top of the door. So we started putting her um, behind, like in the bedroom with me or my brother. And she would still jump for the crack that wasn't in our doors because she got so used to jumping through the basement door. So every night we'd be falling asleep and you just hear like 4 or 5 times every night.
Are you sure she didn't suffer brain damage or
I think she might have done. She also like really wanted to be a hunter, but couldn't hunt for the life of her. So one time she found an already dead mouse, and she would just like throw it and then run after it and catch it, and then throw it, run after it. And then a crow came in and like tried to grab it, and she ran after it to try to catch the crow. And while she was running after the crow, a different crow came in and took a mouse.
I'm gonna just move on. I'll be here for a while.
Yeah, if we're there for any longer, you'll break
Yeah, I
again and
know.
have to turn off the camera.
I know. Favorite food.
Oh, that one is tricky. Duck. For a long time it was chicken liver. And I found that duck has a very similar like irony taste to chicken liver. But it's way more delicate. I can't have it very often because it's very expensive unless I just, go to the park and get it myself. But barring that, it's quite pricey and very difficult to cook, so it's time consuming anytime I do make it. But once every couple of years, I make myself a beautiful duck breast, and it's always the best meal of the year.
Favorite color.
Favorite color? Purple. It's objectively I'm wearing purple right now. Like I would say 70% of the clothes that I own were purple. A while ago, my agent told me I needed to get new clothes because everything I own read as either gay or old man. And that's mostly because everything I own is purple.
Okay. I'm gonna lose it again.
You already are, right?
Holy
I
shit.
mean, am I wrong? Purple is just the best color.
It's not my favorite color, but yeah,
I,
it's a great
I
color.
wasn't saying it's your favorite color. I'm saying it's objectively the best color.
What one of?
What, say again?
One of?
Mm-mm-mm. No, no, no. The best.
Eh, eh, eh.
You know how I can prove it? Purple is the color of royalty, and royals are above everyone else, just like purple is above every other color. Science.
Mm. I was gonna say something intelligent but no, I have
Who needs
nothing.
intelligence when you've got science?
I give up. I give up. Next. Oh, dream country to visit.
Germany, for two reasons. One, it's got these adorable little idyllic towns. I've seen so many of them in like pictures and stuff, and I would love to just walk through one. But two, and more importantly, it has the best theme park in the world, in my opinion, called Europa Park. And it has like these beautiful different areas based on different countries in Europe. My favorite is there's like this Netherlands area that just has a bunch of like it feels like you're a fairy walking through a forest. Everything is huge around you. The rides generally aren't like thrill rides. It gives big Disney energy in like the type of rides that they have, but the scenery, which in my opinion is the most important part of a theme park, is just beautiful. I would love to go there someday.
Favorite season.
Winter. Until very recently, I would have said fall, but it's winter now because recently I just like the nostalgia of it for me. You know that feeling when it's freezing out and you're outside and it like sucks, and then you go inside and it still sucks because everything's on fire? Because like the temperature shift from really cold to really hot.
Yeah.
Um, that's so nostalgic for me. Like that just makes me really happy, that feeling. I got it recently for the first time since I left home. When I was like, it was just really cold and rainy and all that shit. And then I came in and just my face was on fire, and I was like, oh, I'm back home. All my friends keep calling me a masochist because of it, but this makes me feel so safe.
There ain't nothing wrong with winter. Winter's my favorite. I
Hell
can
yeah.
I can layer up. I can layer up because then I have a reason to
Exactly.
look fat. I can do it without anybody judging me. Where in summer, like everything, I hate sweat.
Oh my God, it's the worst. And you have to wear such tight clothes, and I hate it so much. I'm really self-conscious of my body. And so then when like I get right now I'm wearing this really tight tank top because that's what I had to wear for the audition. And I hate the way I look in it.
Favorite actor.
I really struggle with this one. I've been asked this before. It's not going to stump me. My answer is Benedict Cumberbatch. You can't stump me.
Mm.
It's never going to happen. But my reasoning
What do you
is
mean? It's happened once.
nope. It was
Yep.
Photoshop. Um,
Oh,
my reasoning is because I don't really know any other actors. I I love movies and I've watched enough of them now. I didn't before, but now I've seen a good few. But I don't really follow actors. I don't know very many actors because I tend to focus on the performances when I'm watching a movie. And I find it difficult to follow an actor because I get very engrossed in the film itself. And then thinking about the performance choices are a lot harder. So when I watch an actor, I'm usually watching them on the second or third watch through of the movie, which just takes a lot of time. And Benedict Cumberbatch, because he's very nostalgic to me. I loved Sherlock when I was growing up.
friends, son. It's always that.
Yeah. How about you? Favorite actor?
Dylan O'Brien.
Who does he play?
Have you seen The Maze Runner?
Yeah.
The main actor in that.
Oh, he's like the main guy. Yeah, he's really good.
Favorite movie.
Everything Everywhere All at Once, which you haven't seen because you're a crazy person. But it's just really ephemeral. Um, it's really beautiful. I feel like There are so many people with so many extremely different experiences that are represented in the movie. I really relate to Raymond, with his quest to bring like positivity to the world, um, because he feels so much negativity. Um, and I know people, I've spoken to people who relate so strongly with the mom, and I don't remember all their names. I just remember Raymond's, but with like the mom and with the daughter, because those feelings of feeling super alien and the feeling of being disconnected from the people you care about are both really universal depending on the stage of life you're at. So it's a movie that I feel like has universal appeal. I've only met one person who didn't love it, and it was my dad who found it confusing, which is fair because it's also confusing. But it's a really beautiful movie, and I think anyone would benefit from watching it.
I might take a break out of editing this weekend and watch it. I do have so many interviews to get out though, but
The choice is yours. I'm just saying, make the right choice.
I will. I'll send you a photo and be like, look, I ended up doing it.
I can't wait, and you'll love it,
See,
probably. And if you don't love it, it's your fault, not mine.
yeah, true. Favorite music genre?
I'm a big musical theater guy. I know pretty much every musical. And since musicals are so diverse in their genres, I can't really pick one genre. But if we're discarding
Mm.
musical theater, I like rock and roll, mostly classic rock and roll, like old stuff. Um, yeah.
Favorite singer and song? Sorry.
Okay. Can I do band instead of singer?
Yes.
It's not a rock and roll song, it's a Christmas song. And it's Footprints by the Bare Naked Ladies. Um, it's a really sentimental song, and it just makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. That Christmas album is a classic of my childhood, Bare Naked for the Holidays. So good. And in particular, that song.
Mm. I might have to give it a listen. I don't think I've heard it, if I'm being honest.
That's super fair. It's the Bare Naked Ladies are Canadian icon. I don't know if they're that well known elsewhere.
City life or country life?
One more time.
City life or country life?
Uh, I'm a city boy. I really wish I was a country boy because it seems so much more free. But I like adventure, and I feel like cities have more adventure because there's something packed in every corner. Like you can walk through any door, probably shouldn't without knocking, but you could walk into any door and find a story unfolding there. And that I think is wonderful. Whereas in the country, there's just like cows.
And that's where you have the opportunity to create your own story.
True. There's plenty of great stories in the country, but most stories you read happen in a town or a city,
Because no one's imaginative enough.
and very few stories star cows.
I'm just gonna
I'm trying to get you to
um
stop the recording again because you're
no,
laughing too hard. It has to happen one more time.
nope, 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 nope. Maybe this one might. Biggest pet peeve.
I don't have pet peeves. I don't, I must have pet peeves. I can't think of any. I can't get stuck. I can't let you win. Um, no, I don't really have pet peeves. I don't like sticky stuff. Chewing. Oh my God, I hate chewing. Oh my God, it's the worst. Holy crap. My mom chews the loudest out of any human person in the entire world. I love my mom. I don't love that about her. Everything else is great. She needs to close her mouth. Not when she's talking. When she's talking, it's fine. Just when she has food. Genuinely, when my mom is eating food, we have an agreement that anytime she eats food, I just leave because I can't stand the noise of it. There's other people too, but my mom's the worst out of anyone I've ever met. Just anytime someone's chewing around me, if I have the opportunity to, I will leave the room and never come back.
You're trying to get a rise out of me.
I'm genuinely not. This is just a fact. This is just genuinely true about my life. I'm kind of insulted that you would take a true fact about my life and spin it to make it sound like I'm trying to get a rise out of you. That's rude. I'm insulted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am trying to get a rise out of you. Is it working at all?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I can
I'm
tell.
gritting my teeth so hard.
It's impressive. It's impressive that you haven't laughed yet.
Oh.
That was a quality laugh. You should be an actor.
No, no. Name three things you can't live without.
Three things I can't live without. Uh, brain, heart, anus. No, I'll give you an actual three. I'll give you an actual three. Um, so the first thing I can't live without is the internet because it's the only way I can really see a lot of the people that I care about most since I live in a different city from all of them. Um, the second thing I couldn't live without is my hearing. Music is genuinely the most important thing in keeping me happy. I think if I couldn't listen to music, I would be catatonic. And then the last thing is my ability to speak. It's my primary weapon in life. Uh, if I couldn't make someone smile, I would be equally catatonic as if I couldn't listen to music. It's the main thing that makes me happy is being able to make other people happy.
As you've clearly shown by all my reactions.
I just wish I could have gotten more. Honestly, shame on me. I only got you to turn off the recording once. That's not enough.
No more. No. Mm-mm. Yeah. Last one.
Okay.
And then it's enough from me. Describe yourself in 5 words, one sentence, one quote. Just describe yourself.
This might take a second. I'm gonna go serious with this, but I'm trying to think of the exact right quote. Um, can I hold on? Give me a second. I'm pulling up a poem. I need to get the quote right. How much of this poem am I allowed to read?
Go for it.
Okay. So this was, sorry, the angle here isn't great, but I need to read it off my screen. So, this was written by me. Fish aren't humans. That much is clear. Eyes that don't blink and skin that won't sear. They don't hurt like us, at least not I can see. So no, fish aren't humans like he and like she. But fish could be humans. It wouldn't take much. Just a little redressing and a creative touch. Swap scales for skin and fin for limb and eyelids that blink and make it not swim. But does the fish want? That's the next thing to ask. If it doesn't, then fine. It can sit behind glass, safe where people can watch it float by, and he can watch them all lonely and sigh. He'd say, I want to have friends. I want to have fun. But we'd just hear a bubble, because humans are dumb. So poor little fish wants to be him and be happy, but he can't be both because life in glass is crappy. So he puts on a tie and he hides both his fins and comes out of the water and a new life begins. And the people are nice and the sun while it's high, but the longer he's out, his skin starts to dry. He can't catch his breath and he cannot quite move. And the humans all praise him, telling him, You've found your way out from the glass and the gills to the regular world that oxygen fills. They tell him, I cannot fathom the fear it must be to float in the fathoms of a deep blue sea. The fish doesn't get it. The sea seems just great, and the surface is noisy and the buses are late. But the fish loves the people. He feels alive. Then his skin starts to peel, so he takes a dive. Back to the water where he's him and he's safe, where his new friends can visit and come see his place. When the humans come by, they say, That's not you. Your eyes aren't blinking and your scales are so blue. He tells them that, no, I'm still the same, but they just hear a bubble because humans are lame. So every so often the fish will come out. He'll pretend that he's anything other than trout, but he always comes back to the glass and the water, and his new friends all leave, go back out where it's hotter. Poor little fish with his suit and his tie, sitting on the seabed to sadly cry, my, may I some day be as human to he as she is to me. But all we hear is a bubble. It's been a while since I've read it. I wrote it a year ago now when I was in a bit of a hard spot mentally. I'm feeling a lot better right now than I did then, but still feel like a lot of it applies. But I think a lot of it applies to everyone.